Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Okay, I'm just going to straighten up my camera and then we're going to get started.
Hi, everybody. Happy
And turn off
Friday.
so we're not
Okay.
getting an
I'm
echo
just gonna
here.
straighten up my camera.
There we go. I always think I got everything set, but when I go live, there's always one button I didn't push. So we're going to get started what we call page 12. And this is where we made this little pocket on here. This one I used a magnet, and like I mentioned before, I don't think I'm going to. This little guy right here he's pretty heavy. And once you add things in the pocket, it even gets more heavy. So we already had put, that's temporary, that's right, because we needed to find out about this piece of little paper here. So this is where we're going to get started. And our first piece that we need is from our 6x8 paper pad. And it has the little bees on the front, the black and white polka dot on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and I got to trim that because just a tiny bit. That glue is it's more than I can handle. And we have, put that up there. We'll use that in just a moment. You're going to need your flowers with the bees on the back. So see, this was a little bit different. And then we have this piece. We're going to be using the stripes. Pistachio. And I'm going to double check. Then we'll use some little pieces and bits and stuff here. And then we'll have this polka dot. Let me see what we've got. That polka dot is from the 12x12. Hi, Tian. Happy Friday. This is on one side and the dots are on the back. So those are the pieces that we're going to need. And we're going to start with this inside 6x8 piece. You know what, let me put these scissors away because I don't really need them right now and they are kind of in my way. Because I was working today on 49 and Market Heaven Sent, so I needed my scissors. So that is coming along. That's an album. So I'm very excited. I love it. The puppies are sleeping, but Charlotte's tail is wagging as she sleeps. So remember, I didn't have you put this down permanently because our thing is, first we have to put our 6x8 in. Then we can determine, hi Christina, we can determine where this will sit. So I had that temporary. And it looks like, because you want it to be on this hinge side. So I'm going to make a mark with my pencil. We're going to cover that mark. But that's where I want this matting to sit. I want it to come to my pencil mark. So I'll take this off. And then my little pocket. Now we can go ahead and let's go ahead and mat this while it's off of our page because it is a little bit easier. I know. I always wonder what is going on when they're wagging their tails in their sleep, but it's so cute. You know what? For a beagle, she's got awful long ears and a tail. So it really goes flying. I had that temporary adhesive on there. So I'm going to start with, we're going to get that bee on one side, cute floral on the other, and then the stripes. And our pocket is 4. We're going to do the inside 4 by 5.5. Let's see what's on the back. Oh, the back is okay. 4 by 5.5, and we're going to start with our honeybees. So remember, we've got a directional paper, and we don't want to mess it up in case, well, I know, because we are going to be using it. So I want to cut on this side so I can see what I'm doing at 3 7/8. Now I can just turn it over. And I'm going to cut by 5 1/4. I'm not going to go to the 3/8 because it hides under the pocket and I don't have to have it the full length. Then we have the fold up on the front that creates our tuck pocket, and it's 2 1/2 by 4. And I want these stripes. So for just a second here, I want to make sure I don't have a scrap that's going to work just fine. Oh no, I think it's too little. We really used quite a bit of it last night. Let me check here. No. Oh, we will need this piece too. Okay, so I'm going to cut a 2 3/8, not directional, but not to worry. So 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. For the back side, we have the floral. I went with the graph. I like graph because if you want to write, it gives you the lines to kind of guide you. So this, well, we're going to pre-cut it. I hope not. I didn't push down. So this one we are going to cut 3 7/8 by 5 3/8. We do need the full length for the back. And as we're going, all these little pieces I keep until we're done. That's our good filler spots. I start working and then I get hot. I'm sitting here and it's cold. I wished our basement would decide what it wants to do down here in the studio. Okay, on the back side, we're going to go ahead. If you've used your punch on your corners, we want to go ahead and punch our corners. So what is everybody up to this Friday night? I hope you're crafting. Or maybe you're just watching and working on another project. Oh, yeah. I've gotten really good at it, Tian, because I find at the end, I'm okay with throwing it away. But, yeah, I've been doing better about not throwing it away till I'm completely finished. But I do get rid of it, okay? You got to get rid of it. Okay, I'm going to turn this over on the back. And let's start on the back here. And we got lots of sound effects behind me, so I'm sorry. We've got three sleeping beagles. But I did tell hubby when he gets home, he went to get more fishing gear. I can't complain because look at my studio. Oh, yay, Tian. Yeah, he's like, well, while you're live, I'm going to go look at some fishing lure. Okay. And then he's got to come home and he's got to be on play with the dog duty because we do ball at night. I got to get your projects done, these albums. So I've got the 49 Market Heaven Haven, Nature's Haven. It's going to be a chipboard album. So I got that started. Well, actually, we're going to do both because I love it so much. I'm like, I got to do a binder and a chipboard, but I'm doing the chipboard first. And I was surprised they didn't come out with binders for that. So we're going to be making some cute stuff. Okay, we have that on the back. So floral on the front, so pretty together. I can't tell if that's Homer or Charlotte now snoring. Okay, we can close the bottom, but remember it's a tuck pocket. So we just want adhesive on the left and the right side. I like glue. Score tape, it kind of gets caught in there. And then those stripes. I just thought it looked so cool together. Oh, goodness. Get things cleaned up there. Oops. All right, so our little pocket is all done. We can put it on the page. So I've got my pencil mark. I'm going to get rid of that temporary. When will you do? Oh gosh, Tian, I've done it. Well, I've done the base of it. Thank you for just reminding me. As soon as we're done, before I go back to working on my other one, I will get that format. It's done. Oh my gosh, Tian, thank you. Gosh, Tian, anymore, if you're not live, I'm going to be lost because you keep me straight. So, yes, it's done. The album part. And I will have that up, I promise, tonight. I will not start on anything else. So I've got my little pencil mark. I'm just going to cover it a little bit with my hinge. Oh, my word. And I did that, 2-3 days ago. So I'm not losing. I'm getting better. I think we're at 95% better now from the cruise, from all the too much fun, right? Too much vacation. Yeah, my brain is getting, it finally feels like we're getting back to normal. But at least it is recorded. It's just not uploaded, but it will be uploaded tonight. All right, so we've measured where from our 6x8. This is the 6x8. We've measured now where this needs to go. And the nice thing, if you have to trim it, you can. I did trim a little of mine off with that glue, so if you see a little bit of your hinges down here, I would just bring this up higher or lower and then get yourself a little scrap piece to put over there. And I didn't on this one because I didn't trim off. I didn't have as much glue on this one. I don't know why, but this one had a ton of glue. So you know what? I think I am going to put it to the top. And then we're going to just cut a little scrap of. We've got some, no, we better not because we do use these. But we've got, no, we've got 2 sheets of that. Okay, I'm going to, because we have to use this for a tag, I'm just going to cut a little strip off there. Oh, and oh gosh, I appreciate you guys. Oh, and I keep forgetting to remind you, if you are newer, please hit the subscribe button so that you will get notifications. And also, like the video. You know, those crazy algorithms, they are real. Because some of my other, I've got tons of tutorials under tutorials. These are all under live. But because they're older, they fall away. And so I go in quite a bit and like them because I want you guys to be able to find some of those older ones. It happens with our designers too. So always hit like to keep that video relevant. Or yeah, up there where it belongs. And then if you haven't joined us on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations on Facebook, you're going to want to join us because that's where I pop all the links to the videos so that you guys don't miss the notifications. Yeah, see that? That brought that off too short, but I know it's 6 inches. I'm going to cut this anyway. I'm just going to cut a 1/4 inch. Let me look at that. 3/8 of an inch. And we know it's 6 inches long, wide. That looks much more finished. And I'm not sure what time I will be live tomorrow. So it could be in the morning. We have to take our granddaughter for her birthday present. She wants cowgirl boots and jeans. She got her birds from her parents, so I've got to take her for her cowgirl boots. And she has an event in the morning because she's ROTC and she does the flag ceremonies. And I guess they got invited somewhere. So it could be morning, it could be evening, but it'll be recorded. Oh, that'll be nice. And see, that still looks like it all belongs. But sometimes we have to do that, right? Okay. So our pistachio polka dots here, we are going to cut that at 5 3/4. So 5 3/4 by 4 3/8 wide. Okay, my first cut is the 4 3/8. And I already forgot 5 3/4. And I did go with well, they're the same color, but I just didn't want to hide this pistachio color with these flowers. I wanted it to show. So if that's too much for you, you can definitely choose a different color, or even the stripes look nice, but I wanted to bring the blue out on those flowers. Yeah, my hubby informs me he's getting up to go fishing at 4 a.m. All of a sudden, the fishing bug has bit him because he got a little used boat. So I'm like, okay, then maybe I'll just do it live. But I'm not doing it at 4 in the morning. I will still be asleep at 4 a.m. Okay, we want another strip of our floral. 1 3/4 by 4 3/8. I do love the thunderstorms too. So 1 3/4 and 4 3/8. Now that black, the yellow polka dot, no, the yellow with the little blue, the little black polka dots we used last night. Like I said, if you cut, like I was cutting, you have this strip. And we're going to cut that after we check our size right here with this guy. That thing really flips him. Oh my gosh, you chase tornadoes. Oh, that is scary. Okay, that'll go at the bottom, and then we're going to measure that little spot before we cut, because it's going to be different for each one of us depending on how we put our matting down, how much border we've made, things like that. Okay, so mine's a half inch. So I am going to put it at half inch and just back it up a hair. I don't want a huge space. So it's just a hair short of half inch. And then we want 4 3/8. And that is a perfect fit. You can adjust it to how you like. And then see, we'll have the cute, just those little tiny puffy hearts. They were a little hard to work with. Okay, now on the cover for our photo mat, we're going to use the stripes, and it's going to be 3 by 5. Perfect. So now I can cut it this way. Oh, did it scare Christina? I think I'd be scared. Okay, 3 by 5. And I'll just center this right on the page. For me, I have 3 dots from the top. She told you, I do love, well, I do kind of like the storms. I get nervous if it gets really windy to where it sounds like, well, in fact, it does in Utah to where everything's blowing off my deck. We get a neighbor's kiddie pool in our backyard. I get a little concerned. We've only had 2 tornadoes in my lifetime here. They're small. I don't know. You know what? My husband and I have had this conversation so many times, and I know some of it's come from from my nursing career, but also having 4 children. And then we had 2 nieces that lived with us at one time, and he was active duty, gone. I had to micromanage. I was going in 1,000 different directions. And I think that has contributed to how I can do 4 or 5 projects at once and then but I try to only do 1 tutorial at a time, of course. But I really do think that was what it was, is I had to learn to do 1,000 things at once. Okay, our polka dot is going to be 4 by 4. Even my granddaughter, Lexi, she's been down here while I've had customers on the phone. And she's looked at me like, you're crazy. How on earth are you talking to them in the email, answering emails? And I'm like, I don't know. Okay, mine was a little short of 4. So I'm just going to go with it. And what I'll do is I'll cut my pistachio matting just a hair short. But if I couldn't get the full 4 by 4, mine came out to be 3 7/8. And again, that's what's fun about these albums. You can go with it. You don't have to. Then you know how to micromanage too, Christina. Yeah, I was in nursing when he was active duty, and had children. And in fact, I was pregnant on the floor once when my son turned, and I was like, we're having a baby tomorrow. But you couldn't go home, right? I was at the hospital, so who cared? Okay, this one needs to be, I'm going to go 3 5/8, but we're not going to make it with that. So I'll just have to cut a new one. Again, I cut mine at 3 7/8. So I'm going to cut mine at 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. But if you got a 4 by 4, then I want you to cut yours at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. I also learned it from my mother. She was good at multitasking. So for right now, I'm just going to put this down, and I will give you, it's 1 inch from the bottom. Then we'll add our cute little thingies there. And this will be the conclusion for right now of our front page. Okay, that was not perfectly straight. So 1 inch from the bottom. And let's flip that over. And again, we're going to pull from our 8 by 8 paper pad. You should have this one. And just because we'll go on the front, and then see the sweet memories, we'll pop it in there. And it'll fit right to there. Now, one thing I want to do, we have to cut a little bit off of the border here, because I want a little excess there. I'm going to take, so I'm going to leave just a little bit there. Then I can turn it. I just take like a 1/16 of an inch off. And then this side, we just want to make it to be 2 7/8. Oh, I got a little off there. How did I manage that? That's okay. We'll put it over here to the left edge. Well, it has to go to the left edge. And then this one is going to pop in here. Now, one thing I did, oh, see, this has got the bad glue on it. I mean, it's got a lot. I don't want to cut it. Oh, there we go. Just use your bone folder instead of your fingers. Much better. That was a lot easier. Oh, goodness. It has a lot. Does anybody out there, did your pads have a lot on it? I've never had like this. Must have oozed out the edges is all. There we go. So we're going to put that down just a little bit more, and then it just looked too bare for me. So we're going to get into those border strips, and we're going to cut apart this little green one. Mine was on every one of them this time. So we need this to be 8 inches long. So it's 12. So I'll cut it. So cut it at 8 or cut it at 4. So I don't have to take the arm out. See, and that's going to kind of tie in. I think it just ties it in nicer. Get a hold of it here. It's time to fill the glue bottle. I want to put that back so I don't lose it. Okay, now this will just barely sit to the inside. Ooh, I got mine a little close. I should have stuck it in just a hair more. So I'm not going to have a space there. Just going to butt up against because I got the top a little too close. Okay, so we can pop page 12 back into our book. Okay. Now, did put a cut apart here away. There it is, because we'd already cut that in half. I'm just going to pull this out. Well, actually, I don't need to pull out because I left it blank on the back, so you can just add your photos. But this one I'm going to pull out so that we can get our measurements. So we can go ahead and just slide our little bumblebees into the pocket. And then we want a 4x6, and I think from that pistachio, we may have, don't we have that 4x6 from last night? Yes. Oh, maybe. Oh, mine's a little short, but I don't think it's too short. But we do want a 4x6-ish. Okay, that'll be fine. Mine's a hair short, but I don't want to. Okay, it should have been a full 4x6. I don't know why it wasn't. Cut that off at 6. And then we're going to go back to this little yellow guy, little piece that we have. and create our photo mat. Now, it will kind of depend on how much you have left of this. I'm going to cut mine at 3 and mine's just a hair short of 3 3/4 because this isn't quite 4 inches. And for some reason, mine is a hair short of what I need. We don't, and we've only got one sheet of those. So I try to watch my cutting, but it doesn't always happen. We're going to just change this a little bit, but not much. So if yours is a little short also, then you can pick out one of your scraps, cut it the same length, which is mine is that 3 3/5. But maybe we want it to match here. So let me cut this at 3 3/8. Measure yours and see if yours is short. Just kind of combine these two together since mine's a little bit short. So this piece is 3/8 of an inch. And it will work. And that's why we keep all of our little pieces. Oh, goodness. All right, let's get it cut correctly. Okay, I can live with that. So basically, mine was a 1/2 inch short on the yellow. And see, you would have thought I made it that way if I hadn't had my paper too short. No matter how hard I try, I know sometimes we just don't cut our cardstock the exact same way, and that just happens. But that's why we have so much paper. Okay, this one is 2.5 by 3.5, so we need 2 of those. 2.5 by 3.5. Oh, I have one. And what I'm going to do though is cut, because I did use the textured cardstock on this one. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you use the textured or the smooth. Here I go looking again. Okay, just kidding. I'm going to use the smooth. I don't know where mine is. So I was just short one. I'm going to just go ahead and cut 2 more. Because there must be another place I need that one. You know, that would have looked cute on the front too. We could have cut the yellow polka dots into 2 little squares. And then see, I put the decorations on the outside. Okay. And then we'll decorate the outsides. Okay, you can pop that in your book. Oh, and this is the one I have to redo. Okay, that was kind of a disaster that night, but we're going to fix it here. Okay, our book's getting thick. Okay, this was those 2 belly bands, and I totally had messed this up. And I know we won't see that, but I'm going to go ahead. I used the dots, and they just weren't the best. And I still didn't grab the red line tape, so I'm just going to use my score tape. It will hold. I tell you, those dots, though, they hold really well. Okay. You know, let's see. We do, oh, this does go on top. That's right. So we don't see it. Okay, then we're okay. But I needed to cut that bottom one. No, this is my bottom. So our bottom was the 2-inch, and the top I had cut wrong, and it is 1 1/4 by 5. Did we do these 5 7/8? Nope, we did these by 6. 1 1/4 by 6. So I need a piece of black. From my scraps. Okay, we're going to attempt this again. Like I said, I prefer the red line, but that's all I got left. It's not going to do it. And I didn't grab another roll again when I was at the warehouse. So we're going to do score tape. And it should be just fine. So we want it on the top and the bottom. I know it's a little hard to see. Nothing hanging over. So on the top is going to be my 1 1/4, and the trick is going to be keeping this straight. Oh, I don't know if that's worse. But that will be better. Yeah, mine is probably somewhere like yours, way in the back somewhere, because I know I have another one. So what I'm doing is I'm using my honeycombs, kind of, where it points up as my guide. And then because this piece of black will show, I do need to get that off. It was on there with the dots. It looks messy, but it's not going to show. Okay, this takes us just a little work here. So I want to get my placement. I use the lines of our honeycombs where that top kind of comes at a point. Once we put the cardstock, I won't see those bubblies. Now the 2-inch will sit more at the bottom, but I'm going to turn it upside down. And again, find my placement so I can put it on straight, I hope. And then the whole idea here was just a cute little window into the beehive, right? Okay, let's grab. That went on much better than the other night. The other night, it was just quite a workout. I found, oh, I was just rereading your thing, TN. Okay, we want our little, gosh, blue dots. Here we go. And the other side is that green. I just love that green too. And we're going to clean that off. I mean, there's a lot. You know, I bet it would save money if the companies would just put these in plastic bags for us. Even though it's nice to bind them, I understand. Okay. Tab down here at my right hand side. And we're just going to glue that down. Okay, put my smaller one at the top. I'm going to trim mine just a little bit. Well, this thing has really given me a run for my money for some reason. I got to go over to my big cutter. Be right back. Perfect. Yes, you can cut the top off. So this is going to fit in between the holes. It's going to be just a hair short. There we go. So I'm going to center it. So we're going to go ahead and put this down. And I just added glue here on the cardstock. I didn't put it on the acrylic. And then I just put it in between the holes. And then we'll make our little tag that will go inside there. Let me just go ahead and measure that real quick. So it's 4 by 12. So we need those border strips. Oh, don't bark, dog. I just had that other sheet. Let me grab it. So we'll probably have to get out the I think this is our third one. There it is. So let's cut these apart. Now on this one, put it away. We're not going to cut any more of it because we do need for our album. So if that was your third one, and it should have been. So I'm going to use the yellow and this black right here. And let me show you. So it's 2 inches. And I went ahead and cut it at 2 inches. Then I'm going to, first of all, cut it at our 5 7/8. But then I'm going to turn it this way and take my 1/8 of an inch off the top to make it 1 7/8, because I didn't want to lose my scallop. Okay, and we'll check that fit. And then from your 8 by 8, these are different. So we're going to take our sunshine and my honey. That's 1 1/4. So this one we can definitely cut 1 1/8, and it'll bring you right to the bottom of my honey. Now I turn it. Let's turn it upside down. Oh, we got glue at the top. Of course, we should have taken a little bit off the top. I'm going to get rid of that glue. Okay. Because we want my honey, so turn it upside down and cut your 5 7/8. You're just going to take a little bit off of the end, but you can still see all your words. And then our flower garden at the bottom. Oops, that was a good catch. Okay. Grab your green so that we don't boo-boo and cut it. I mean, yeah, cut it on something else. We're going to go ahead and cut our 4 by 12. And you can use any color, really. And we're going to score this in 1/2 6. Yeah, I usually don't save it, and then it's all over the place. And then if you want, you can go ahead and do the bottoms. I'm going to just do them together, hopefully. There we go. You guys, that just flipped down my shirt. What is that one? Well, hey, I'd be good at basketball. And we'll just pop that in there until we're decorating and cut all of our borders. Uh-oh, don't tell me I'm stuck from those glue dots. I shouldn't be. Oh, there we go. Okay. See, and then that little stopper is what's going to stop it from going all the way over. Oh, Tian, I hate when that happens. And you know what? On the cruise, we had a little lady. She did too. She, her whole, oh my gosh, she spilled the glue everywhere. I felt so bad, but we got her cleaned up. Okay, turn this over. This is page 14. So we're going to use that green again. You know what though? I'm telling you, my greens look different to me, but they're not. My greens and yellows. Let me see something here. Nope, this is darker. Because we have our green grass. Nope, that's not it. Okay, so we're going to use this border strip from the other half that we cut. It's going to be here at the top. And then we're going to use all of these guys down here at the bottom. Let's see, one. Or did I use this one? I used it from the 6 by 8 paper pad. So we're going to use that. Okay, so we're going to cut a square that is 5 inches by 6 inches. It's already 6, so we want 5. Okay, just, maybe they are the same. I'll quit worrying about it. Okay, let's go ahead and cut. I need to cut that little bit of black off the top. And then I want you to go down to the green flowers. There we go. And from here, let's cut apart our little scallops. And if you want to fussy cut those babies out, you go right ahead. I did not. I thought about it. I really did. So we want to make sure that's 6 inches. So our first thing is we want to make sure, and that's going to make sure everything fits, and that's going to take up the gap here. I just think that page turned out so cute. So I am going to put down my border strips first. And I'm going to bring them up about 1/8 of an inch or so from the bottom. So I want a little space between the borders and the photo mat or the cardstock. Not too big of a space. No more than 1/8 of an inch. So this piece will overlap onto the green. So make sure they're the same. Nope. Just need to take a hair off. Oh, our glitter glue is a mess when you dump it. Oh my gosh. And then you keep wiping and wiping, and it's like, is it ever going to clean up? And, you know, this page is done. I had thought about, and you certainly can, you know, putting a white photo mat here, but I thought that's just going to be a beautiful background for the photo. So that page is done for now. And like I said, your book is probably getting pretty heavy. Mine won't go back on the rings. We're getting pretty thick here. So our next one is the 4 pockets. And what we're going to use is a cut apart. This is that one I mentioned. I really liked it, but I didn't like that it said thing, or it said, okay, wait a minute. One of these, it says thank you. This one does not say thank you. So this one is from our 12 by 12 sheets. And to be honest with you, it doesn't matter. 4x4s. No, we already looked at that one. No, it is this one. See how it says thank you? So, you guys, I don't think we used that. Here it is. Oh, I cut the top off, so we do need, so it's up to you. You can either use this now and then cover it like I did, or cover it on the album when we use this. So I am going to go ahead and use it. But before I do, let me just do a quick check that we didn't use this 4x6 card. No, we did not. So totally, I'm going to leave that up to you. I'm still going to put the thanks. Oh, but hold on. There is a little bit of a difference. The back, and we do want the stripes. So guess what? We are going to cut it because I went stripe. There was a reason for that. I don't usually do this, but I am just going to do a little bit of strategically cutting here. Yes, and art glitter glue, once it dries, especially on like this mat, oh my gosh, I have to scrub it. Could cut this, but I think we're going to need those in the other book. So why am I doing this? Sometimes I don't think. Let's just take it down this way. And we won't cut that side. There we go. Put that in my cut apart pile. Okay. Now, we need to take our green, and it should be, yeah, over 6. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut my 4, and then you want 2 3s. So 2 3x4s. Then we're going to cut a yellow, and then we already have those whites. So we just need one of the yellow, and that's the textured. You guys see that is so different. So there it is. Okay. I think I got 2 that were kind of the same, which is unusual in the packages. Or I don't know. Now I'm going to have to check other packages because that's going to drive me nuts for a while. And I don't like to drive you guys nuts with it. Okay, 2 3/4, because it's going to go on a black mat. 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 with your yellow. And we now are ready to get out photo mats from our pile. No, we're not. We need one more. So from our petite prints, we have a black and white stripe. And we need a 3x4. I'll do my first cut at 3, and then a 4. Now we're ready. So the dots will be on the front, and I'll put the yellow. Our 2 green, we need 2 blacks that are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Why do I always miss one? Okay, so from your 65-pound black, if you need to cut another one, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then the backs, we need 4 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, we can go ahead and get everything laid down. And then on the back, we're just going to put the white on all 4 pieces here. Oh my gosh, it's so quiet here. I know, I just jinxed it, didn't I? Also, remember, if you don't want to have a white map for your photo, you can just put the photo back here. But the problem is when I make these, I just don't know what photos yet that I'm going to put into them. And sometimes they don't get photos because they're just too cute. You have to look at the paper, but I do want to get photos in my albums this year. I say that every year. And then another year has passed us. And then it's like, oh my goodness, well. Okay, let's go ahead and have our tab here to the left. And I'll put in our pattern card. And then the yellow will go next to it. Okay, and the green with the black showing to the front. Okay, I need to grab my book here because I'm sure yours is starting to get like mine. If you're this far, it's getting thick, and I don't want to lose all my pages. I mean, it'll be easy to put them back in order, but so what I'm going to do is take out our half pocket, just close that one up. And let me do the same. And now this one's really thick. So now we're at that point where I have to open and close. Why do I have a paper clip? Oh, because that's right. We don't want to glue it down yet. Okay, we're going to have our little bookmark that's 2.5 by 7.5. I haven't matted. I do need to get the matting done on that. And then I can't talk. This one. Well, it was actually from our 6 by 8. And see, I think that was one that I cut, which is okay. We're going to take it from our 12 by 12. And we are going to cut a piece that is 3.5. So I cut mine 3.5 and 8. Then we'll use it for another piece for there too. Oh, but let me show you. No, that's not the one. Never mind. I was going to say, I have this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a 3.5 right now, just like so. And then I want to go ahead and cut this little back piece. Two and a half by 8. So the print's a little bit bigger, but it doesn't matter on our cute little pocket here. And 8 inches. We'll cut this one at 8. And I'm just looking for my other 12 by 12 quarter strip there. There it is. So we have this piece. And then we want I'm going to go ahead and cut one. Let's just cut a 1 inch. Because that was a little short anyway. So 1 inch by 8. Okay, we have all of our pieces and parts for this one. Then we're going to use our just because. So we'll go ahead and get that one because we have it right here. Our cute little bear. And on that one, oh, there we have it too. I did not cut the black, so we can go ahead and Well, we're going to cut two pieces, our 2.5 by 7.5. But I think that's what this little piece right here left over is that I just cut. So when I cut that, oh, how did I manage that? Okay, mine's going to be 2 1/4. I don't know how I just managed that. By 7.5. So I got a little bit of a skinnier bookmark. That's okay. Oh, 3 by 4. Let's go ahead and cut a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. But let's double check here. No, we didn't. And 4 1/4. Now we're ready to go. Main thing is to remember this is a little bit slipperier and your paper will move with glue. So hold it down. Glue on the bottom. And it takes a few more seconds to dry there. I'll go back and map this. Like I said, I need to map that one still too. But it's just a little bookmark. You could journal on with a white pen, but depending on what color matting you put on. So if you use white, you'll be able to use it to write on. And you can actually put more than one in there. Okay. We'll mat the little bear. I did not mount the pocket because our little bear takes up most of that space. So make sure you kind of mark it with your fingers where you don't want the glue to be. Okay, we'll flip it over. And I put the plaid towards the holes and then our 1 inch to the left. So I'm going to put this one down first. And I'm keeping them about 1/8 of an inch from your holes. Okay. Wow. See, we're moving along. Okay, so we have a 6x8. I hate when they fall off the pages, fall off the rings, because then it's like they go sliding everywhere. Okay. I forgot to take out the 6x8. Ow. Those rings bit me. Okay. We're going to take out our little bees out from our 6x8 pad. And then the back, so we need to cut from, oh wait, no we don't. Is that the back? Oh, it is the back. How about I look at both sides? Oh yeah, this one's super cute. Oh, and it is. It says so cute. I just love that one. Okay, so the front here, we want to start with the yellow. It's our yellow. Oh goodness, what's that called, guys? Here we go. Petite prints. And then you're going to want something for the back here. Now, you can use this one here with the little dots. It's hard to see, so we're going to use that piece because we're going to triple mat here. And then we need to have a strip here from this guy. On the number. So I put this in the center to kind of break up. So it had a little bit of a contrast there. You know, the bees are so sweet. So we're going to cut, I believe that's a 2" by 6". Nope, 2 1/4 by 6. So let's cut our 2 1/4 by 6 first. Make sure we're 6. Then the bold, bigger polka dots here are going to be 4 1/4. Nope, I did 4 1/8 by 6 1/8. Four 1/8 and then 6 1/8. Keep everything together. Then my pistachio is going to be 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So that makes my white. It should be that bigger one. Yep, 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. There we go. We are set to put it together. I think. Hold on. Did I cut the pistachio wrong? No, I didn't. Oh, 3 1/2. Sorry, it's your 3 1/2 one. Well, I didn't measure that one correct either. I got the width right, but That's okay. We'll cut. It's your 3.5 by 5 5/8, but it's not 5 5/8. Oh, do you love this one, Tian? Oh, yay! It's actually. Oh, it is 5 5/8. Well, we're going to take 1/8 of an inch off. So I'm going to make this 3.5 by 5.5. Because I guess my measuring skills really need some work. Yeah, it's 3.5 by 5.5. So just take 1/8 of an inch off. Then we have that bigger border of the polka dots. Now for this, I did put this down in the middle of the page. So I put it so it's about the 4 is in the center. I mean, it does not have to be right on, but I just wanted a break in all the bees with our other pretty stuff. Okay, so I'm just set it there. So I'm using my 4 and kind of going in the center. Not a perfect measurement, just close. Making sure it's not crooked. No, Wilbur. Okay, now we can put our layers together. Oh, I meant to put I usually put the writing down, so I'm going to have to erase that. Okay. Then we're just going to center the photo mat right in the center. Hi, Diane. Happy Friday. Again, I am using my dots on the side here on the black to line this up. So, we all find those quirky little things that help us when we're laying our papers down. Okay, that one, the front is done. So we're going to do the back. So, and these I know we did cut because I just saw them. They're those 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And we have 4. So the little backgrounds, I kind of just chose, I chose from our little scraps. And these are 2.5 by 2.5. So you could even do yours a little bit different if you wanted. But what I did, because let me tell you, I was down to the bare scraps when I was working on that. So I'm going to I have this little piece. I want to make sure I can get, well, I'm going to get 1. So I'm going to cut a 2.5 by 2.5 first from this piece. And I do want the honeycomb. And then we want this one, the plaid. And I did, so I just need the honeycomb. So let me see what I've got here. Yeah. So I'll cut 2.5 by 2.5 here. And then we need 2.5 by 2.5 from the plaid. So we'll use both sides. Okay, so we can go ahead and start matting. Oh, I remember those days. I'm not sure, Diane. Tomorrow I have to take a granddaughter. We couldn't take her last week for her birthday. She marched because she goes to school at the Utah Military Academy. Her choice. It's an ROTC based junior high school, and she marched. Well, in the parades, she had more than one carrying the flag. Oh, good Lord, she got blisters. So we couldn't go for her cowboy boots last week. So we're going tomorrow. I don't know when. So I might be live in the morning and the evening, or just the morning or the evening, but I will post the video just as soon as I know. I'm kind of thinking maybe, so I don't have to stop, I'll just do evening when I get back. That's where I'm kind of leaning, but I'm sorry to leave you guys hanging like that. But the nice thing, it'll be recorded. But I love when you join me live because then we can talk. Or I can talk. I can talk and you can type. I hate when it moves just ever so slightly. Okay, now the back. One thing we want to watch for is going to be our spacing, because cute is a big word here, and it's going to be 2 3/8 from the bottom of the top one to that one. So that one we're going to, have to watch. So I have my black and yellow at the top, plaid next to it. Make sure they're going the right way because you can still see some of our bees. And then, oh, I hate shopping. But I will go with her for her boots. And I'll probably just let her pick them out. Her and her father and mom and dad. And I'll just be like, we'll go pay. You know how that is with grandkids. And especially when they're 14, because they're kind of like, they're very picky. So you can't rush a 14-year-old. Okay. So again, we're about 1/4 of an inch from the top, 1/4 of an inch from the side. My 2 oldest granddaughters, when we'd go school clothes shopping, I would only take one at a time, and their mother had to stay home because they were so naughty when my daughter was there. Well, one of them was, but together, oh my gosh, because they're like, those Irish twins. They're so close. Okay, 1/4 of an inch from the right and 1/4 of an inch-ish from the top. So they fought. If one got one the same color as the other one, all heck broke loose. And I'm like, okay. You're going to go with me on Friday, and you're going with me on Saturday. I'm not taking you two together. So again, about 2 3/8. It can be more. We just want to get that big word cute in there. But tomorrow we will get how I'll already have all my little ephemera sorted, how I do in the bin. You know how I use these guys. So you might want to go ahead and sort yours. It's not so bad because there's only the one package. And tomorrow have all of your enamel dots and everything that you got in your kit. Go ahead and get them out of the packaging because we'll use them on all the pages. But if you have the ephemera sorted, like I've done in the other videos, your words, your graphics, things like that, then it will save you time. So if you have a puzzle sorter, or if you've purchased any of those food saver containers, I love them, then you are ready to go. Actually, I found some others I like. They're round with the 4. Oh, Tian, that is awesome. Okay, let's put these into our, you know what, and that's half the battle is sorting when it comes to Doodlebug and 49 Market. You do have quite a few pieces of ephemera, but I mean, we love it. We're not complaining. So my pages are starting to come out. Okay, in you go. Okay, now we want the pocket. You know what, let's just take the pocket. We have this last 2 pieces. So I'm going to take all 3 of those out now. Okay, so can you believe we're on page 18? So 18, and this will be our last little acrylic. They're so cute. So we're going to grab the green. I mean, this is my last piece of paper. So we've got our green. I'm going to get that all off. And we just need that one piece. Then we're going to use these little guys here because we're going to cut that in half. Because our pocket down here is 2 7/8. And you know what I'm going to do? My glue is there, so it's actually going to be stuck down in the pocket. I'm going to turn it, cut my 2 7/8. That'll take care of that. Then we want to cut our little beads. No, wait a minute. Are these our bigger beads? These are our 12 by 12 beads. Yes. These are our 12 by 12. Okay, we'll cut the flowers, then the beads. We do use that, so we need it. And then we're going to turn it upside down so we don't, I don't like to cut my bee off here. I like to always go in the center, and he's 6 inches. Oh, this piece, you need to keep this because see, it's going to go, it's the topper. So it's important that you keep that black and white from one of your border strips. Okay. Anne Marie, hello, stranger. I know you work all week. It's hard for you to join us, but I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, I fed them. Oh, are they begging you for the dogs? He wants to go play ball is why Homer does. That boy. Anne Marie will tell you, we had to sit out back and thank goodness we had a sunny day when she was here visiting because the boy just wants to play ball 24/7. Okay, my glue's going to go on the inside, but it's really not going to be inside the, well, actually, yes, it is. Because we're going to put our bees up at the top. Are you actually crafting? Anne-Marie, or are you just visiting? Oh, I know. They wear me out all the time. They're naughty. Okay. Then our little bees at the top. And it does overlap onto the green cardstock. Oh, good. You probably don't get to craft as much, do you, anymore? Or maybe you craft more. Okay, that one is done. Let's turn it over. And let's take, oh, which I cut too short. We need our beehives. Now I've made a mess over here, guys. I gotta kind of regroup. I gotta get into my bag because we need that one. I'm double checking that I don't have one. That we cut into. No, we're good. Okay. One thing you're going to notice, you have quite a bit of this black and yellow left, but that's for your book, so you do have to have that. Okay, let's cut this 6 by 8. And now Homer Wilbur is throwing his ball down the stairs. Okay, couple things that we're going to need. These right here were actually scraps. So I want you to get into that pile of scraps you've been creating. Along with me. So one of them was this little square. It was just one of these little tags. And then the green, that pretty floral. And you should have a little piece of it left, or let me see here, a strip of it. So I use those as this matting. So this one's going to be a little bit shorter than that, and it's okay the way we're going to place it. And you also don't have to use, gosh, I got to clean this up just a little bit. You don't have to use these exact same pieces. Let me show you. Maybe you've got this green bees or something, but these are the ones that I had. So I went ahead and I used them. And I ended up cutting this one so at 1 3/4. And I'll tell you how long mine is here in a minute. So mine is about 4 5/8 long. And then this little guy, I'm just going to cut a piece off that's 2. And I won't take anything off the length. And it is 4 inches. They're doing good. Rick's doing good. The family's doing good. Everybody's surviving. Okay, now we want that. I'm pretty sure it's called swimming pool. And it is 4 1/4. So it's going to be 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So we want 4 by 6. Rick's just busy in the garden, and now I got so much food in the kitchen vegetable wise. We're going to have to start giving it away. His garden always blows up. It's just crazy. Okay, we're going to put the honeycomb down first. So how's Michael? And your new kitchen. I'll bet you're enjoying that. Okay, let's put our photo mat together first. No, Tian, they haven't. I need to go out there and actually look because the other sunflowers are crazy, but the pink ones are on the other side. So you know what? I am going to check that tonight. They seem to be a very dainty, smaller variety of sunflowers, but they are pink. Oh, I know. I love my kitchen too. Well, good. When you're both traveling, that means you two, when you meet up again, it's like you're so excited to see each other. Hopefully. Okay. So I'm going to put that in the center. And then I just wanted to do my layering because it gave it some extra color. Like I said, nothing too scientific here. I just wanted some extra color because it was just too plain, like so. What I'm going to do first is we're going to attach Lowe's has our 31st. Lowe's has your 31st anniversary in June. Your Lowe's store? I think I'm reading something wrong. And that's nothing new for me, right? Okay. And I know that looks really funny like that. Oh, you had your 31st anniversary. Oh my gosh. Anne Marie, happy anniversary. Okay, then we'll center that there and see it gives us some extra color over here on the side. Well, yes, happy anniversary. How fun. Hope you did something special. Oh, I think so too. He's a pretty wonderful guy. Of course, so are you. You're not a guy though. I know. After so many years, it's like, yeah, we'll just go to dinner. That's what we'll do for our 41st. We never really go because, it's kind of an expensive place. Chris Roos. I love Chris Roos. But we only go on our anniversary because it's just, we got to save up for the year. Okay, one thing I wasn't paying attention to. Well, my honey is pretty small. And that's okay. I think this time I'll put my honey down here because I was too excited about your anniversary and not paying attention. Okay, let's put that one away. We are down to our last two. And like I mentioned, these last two were like our bonus pages because before we even, I'm telling you, look at how thick it's getting even without embellishments. Usually we talked about this. I don't use everything in the Doodlebug albums. And I took out the chipboards dividers because they are just too thick. So these next two are basically our bonus because they were kind of what was left over after we did the album. So the first one has the 4x6 at the top, and so I took it from this last page here, and we're just going to cut this in half at 4, and then we're going to fight with the glue for a minute. Okay, so we're going to cut that at 4, and then we'll just cut these two at 3. And then we have, one thing we haven't cut into yet, because we're going to cut into it for the album, but it's not necessary. Let me show you. I did use, because it was left over. Like I said, this was left over. This was that little white polka dot. It's hard to see the polka dots. So you can either use a white photo mat or you can wait, and then you can use your scraps from if you're going to make the album. Now, if you're not making the chipboard album, you're going to have a lot of this left over. So you definitely can use more. Now, we need to take from these scraps. Let me show you. These are scraps. I'm not kidding. 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. I mean, when I said we use these down, sorry? Did I miss something? You said sorry. I hope I didn't say something wrong, which would be nothing new. Okay, and then 3 3/4. Okay. And then for the back, we want 2 whites that are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and you will have them, I believe. I have one. Oh, there's that 3 1/2 I couldn't find. I don't know how I end up having leftovers, guys. I just don't. But let's cut another one from because I'm not going to use that polka dot. I'm just going to save it for the chipboard album. And that's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Then we want a 1-inch strip of this. And you can go ahead and cut this because you do have another one. So it's 4 inches, and it may not be sorry, because I was chatting with you. Oh, no, you're fine. No, that's my fault. Okay. So whatever that one is, I'll give you a measurement here. I just cut it down to 4 inches. And this one right now is sitting at about a little over 3/4. And then we do want a yellow from here. Forgot to cut this one from our polka dots. 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Such a pretty deep yellow with that. I love it. Okay, now on the back, the stripe will go down on the right hand side, and it's 1 inch. And then on the outside is where we're going to put the flowers when we get there in our decorating. Okay, so we're going to slide that in our pocket. Okay, blue will be on the front and white will be on the back. He's sure making a lot of noise out there. And white. I'm just going to pop that in. You guys, this is page 19. Can you believe it? You guys are doing so good. Getting crooked here. Well, he could be feeling the bird baths. We have quite a few bird baths out there. And you would think it was for the birds, right? Well, it is for the birds and the hummingbirds. But because our dogs drink out of the bird baths, so we have to keep them clean because I don't want them drinking out of where the birds take baths. I mean, they bathe those robins in the morning, and even the hummingbirds and bees. But then that's where Wilbur and Homer and Charlotte think that they get their drinks when they're out back. They have plenty of water in the house, but so he has to clean those every single night because of this. Okay, page 20, and then we're done with the pages. Again, this was from leftovers, total leftovers. I am going to take this one off so we can measure. Usually these 2 pages would not be in a book, but I was going to do it. So we're going to need the yellow and yellow polka dots. So let's see what we've got here. Because we can't cut another page. So let me look here. but I do use this on the back. So I'm going to grab that one. So I've got one. So, like I said, I made these after I was done making our album. So here's what I'm going to do. And it looks like I had that one. Oh, it's left over from the 6x8. But we didn't end up with that left over from the 6x8. And I don't know why. So I'm going to leave this front. We're actually going to do it in a different, well, no, we'll do it in a different paper because I don't want to cut the 12x12 because we really need that for our 12x8 our 6x8 album, chipboard album. And because if we do, we can actually use this one. Yeah, because we need those. So I don't want to cut into them. So for the bonus page, I'm going to use this, the polka dot for the back. Hold on, let's get a right measurement here. I'm going to cut my 8 first. Okay, just making sure. And then we'll go ahead and cut. I used the white background with yellows. We're going to cut that 6x8. Okay. So we have this from our 6x8 pad. I'm going to use that for my background. Like that. I'm going to start here. I still want that plaid, and that is an extra piece. Then we have this black piece. It's going to be 4 by 6.5, and that you can cut. You're just going to cut that from your solid right here. So 4 by 6.5. And then we're going to get that photo mat that is 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. There it is. So we're just going to do our layering magic here. Over this little guy will go here. Okay, that is not the same size. There it is. I grabbed the wrong one. 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. Much better. And then we'll have the little sunshine. We'll have our flowers. So once again, I'm just going to hold where I want my layering to be. Go ahead and glue that down. Get some more glue in there if you need. Oh, no. Photo mat about in the center. Okay, now we can flip that over and, well, here we can just pop this in here. Whoops, goes this way. Okay, this one will be on the back side. And again, I just used our leftovers. So we need a 5x7 on this really pretty bright, super bright. But I love it with this, with that yellow. And then the yellow piece ended up being 4.5 by 6.5. I'll tell you, I don't know if I'll do these 20 pages again. I'll have to count our other albums and see. But I always, I got that crooked. I had always taken a couple of the other pages out because of the, how many there are, the plastic sleeves. But I thought, we've got some of this left over. Let's just see what we can get done. So don't feel bad if you leave a couple of pages out. Again, that looked off to me, but it's not. Okay, we're just going to center this. And then tomorrow we will start decorating. But I have to show you one thing that you could do if you want to prepare. I mean, if you're this far, it's because of those polka dots that always looks off to me on one side. Okay, we'll put that in there. Oh, that's a lot of pages, gang. Okay, let me put this one in and then I'm going to show you. So if you remember, we pulled this out in the beginning. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take, see the back of this one. This with the, I know you have this because we've got a couple of them in here. It has the bees on the back. And hold on, I want to grab these. I'm going to tell you what size little squares that you can cut. And I did put them aside. Where's my little bucket thing? Well, I thought I did, but I guess I did. So I'm going to show you. And I'll tell you how many to cut. If you want to prepare, I'm not going to use the exact same ones. I'll just cut this off because I'm going to use I think I'm going to use this. We'll use this. Okay, so we're going to cut, you're going to cut 1 by 1 squares. Just cut 1 by 1, or if you have a punch, and then you'll just cut those in half. I'm just double checking, yeah, my size. So if you want to prepare by cutting these into 1 by 1s, you're going to cut cut 20, because I'm also going to do a little bit of better placement. You'll see it's just like when you're putting a quilt together. You got to kind of line these corners up. A couple of them I didn't, but it's okay. But anyway, if you want to cut 20 1 by 1 squares, just like I now did, and then put it in your cutter diagonally, see, then we're going to have our little quilt points. Now you can go bigger, but I found the 1 by 1 just seemed to work better. And then we are going to attach them here onto, we already pulled this page in the beginning, and I did pop this all up on foam. So I pop, or you can put another piece, or wait a minute, maybe I did do the chipboard. I did, you guys. So I did use a piece of lightweight chipboard, but you don't need lightweight chipboard. I forgot to tell you, keep this. You want to keep this piece. And then I cut it to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then you're going to take your cover sheet. So you can even do that. So take this, cut this 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, so it sits back there, because we want room for these little points, and you don't want it on the chipboard. So that's why I cut this at 5 3/4. So let me show you here. So just take a 1/4 inch off the side and the length. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. So lay this down, and you're going to glue this right on. Actually, I'm going to take it down to 5 1/2. So take a 1/2 inch off the width and a 1/2 inch off the length, because we want it kind of bare where we're going to put those little points. There we go. 5 1/2 by 7 1/2. And then when we go and do these tomorrow, see, and we have to bring those up a little bit. Then we're going to lay them all down like so. Okay, so let me go ahead and glue this on, and then you can go ahead and be working on this, and I will post what time I'll be live tomorrow, and we'll just do our decorating. We'll prepare this cover actually first and get it out of the way, but we won't put it on our book till the very end. But this is also going to give this piece of paper some extra hold. And when I said we used everything, we used everything. This is from your paper pad. Okay, and it also gives it a lot of extra body. Then we're going to add our foam tape here, and that will be on the cover. So, oh, I need to double check. That will work just fine. Then we're going to add these along the edge. Okay, so, and you can even, just going to put it in the cutter there. That side I don't need to. I got a little crooked here and there. I'm just going to trim it off the back. just trim a little bit off of each side. So you can trim it before you put it down or after, it doesn't matter. Just so you cut it 5.5 by the 7.5. And then we'll use the flowered, this one I showed you with the bees. So cut 20 of them, okay? All right, well, I'll post tomorrow what time I'll be live, and then we will get our book. It'll be completely finished tomorrow. So happy Friday, and keep him busy. Yeah, it does keep him busy, Tian, for sure. So thanks for joining me, you guys, and have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.